Hello and good day. I hope this video finds you well. I'm currently at the Mead Botanical Gardens in Orlando. I've just been wandering and being present here. I brought some tea that I made. It's quite yummy. Put some honey in there too. Excuse me. And I just thought to share some passing thoughts while I'm here. I thought maybe someone could use them. Nothing particularly in mind, but I feel peace in this moment. When you're not living in your head and when you're not trapped in those thoughts, because you take those thoughts and you think them to be real. But reality has much less to do with shaping perspective, and perspective has much more to do with shaping our reality. We have so much more control over our will than we think we do. And even at times here, I find moments thinking about the past. To see a squirrel jump effortlessly through trees, or just the piece of water going down the shore, and the leaves rumbling by the wind. Those things are real. Thoughts are just thoughts. I know that's easy to say, but it's true. These things around us are real. And we're very lucky to be with them. These pines are a lot sharper than I thought, and I sat down and I got jabbed by a bunch of them. They're actually quite prickly. This video is dedicated to my brother. That sounds like he's passed. He's not. But to anyone, my words are not moving as freely as my thoughts, and that's all right. But I was thinking about just how connected we are as people to each other. I mean, we share the same blood. We share the same organs, the same code. And we're not just connected by our interior. Our consciousness goes so much further than the body and mind. We are not just the mind and body. We are so much more. And it's so easy to trap yourself when that's all you think, is that you are of the mind and the body. And nobody really blames you for thinking that. It's the most natural occurrence. It's sort of the first thought, But we're not slaves to those. We have the ability to change that. And part of being in nature, for me, and feeling this peace, is understanding and accepting that this feeling will go away. It has to. And I will return to more negative thoughts in time, and I will forget about this place for a moment, and I'll forget about this place in my head, and I'll get caught up in routine. But I'll have to remind myself, with any attempt of wisdom or trying to feel peace, don't be frustrated or discouraged if you return to negative thoughts or negative patterns. It's not like you're losing progress or something. It's just frustrating because we think that once you're in a state of mind, you've conquered negative emotions. But once you return to those negative emotions, you discredit your progress, and you take that as a sign that it is hopeless and that there is nothing now but those negative thoughts. And funnily enough, the same thing happens in contrary. If you're feeling sad and then you have a moment of joy caused by whatever, it can be easy to be consumed by that feeling and to forget about the sadness, or to think that you've maybe overcame it. But obviously that's not the case. We just have to return to those. It's a cycle. Just as some nights are better than day and some days are better than nights, Days can start strong and end poor, the other way around. But it's not the end. And my brother is like me, where he gets lost in those things, and it can be easy to be overcome by that and to think that that's all that's left for us in that moment, as I'm sure it is for most of my siblings. Because, really that's what people are. We're all siblings. We just don't act like it. But this place and this fauna and wildlife, it's always here for me whenever I come to it. The trees don't change even a little bit. And the entire time that I'm away from them and I'm in my head and I'm feeling my negative emotions, they've been here. They've been still. And this stillness in nature reminds you just how uncertain some things are, but how certain some things are too. And it is certain that this place will be here long after I'm gone. The force of nature is far greater than us, and it can be scary, but it can be very humbling too. To go to this place and to be reminded of just how small you are, and just how non-existent the things you worry about are. They're just thoughts. They're just chemicals. They're just worries. But I'm not in danger. And even though I feel safer in this moment, it's not like I'm in any more danger when I'm in my head or when I'm away from this place. This place just helps me to bring out security. And it just reminds me that things are okay. It looks like they're doing some construction work in the back, so you'll have to excuse if there's a little bit of noise. And it sounds like there's someone playing the flute distantly. It's rather nice. We get so caught up in routine. It's just easy to forget. But I'm a strong believer that most of life will just be reminding yourself of things that you already know, and things you just need to hear again. In the same way that you look for reassurance in other people, you must find it in yourself. And often lately I've gone to other things to escape myself. People, substances. But I can be my own good company. For so long I thought that I was my own worst enemy. And I accepted that to be the reality. It's not. Just as strongly as you can love others, you can love yourself. When's the last time you hugged yourself? When's the last time you gave yourself a high five? Doing a good job, When's the last time you encouraged yourself to do better and to do more? Or that you saw yourself going through struggle? If you saw a friend knelt down and crying, you'd most likely comfort him and tell him that things will be okay. And I see you struggling, and I know that it hurts, but you will move on from this. This is not the end. That is for certain. This cannot be the end. And I don't say that sympathetically. I say that literally. It can't. You have your life ahead of you. And I will experience so many more negative and positive emotions if I'm lucky to be alive for that time. And as caught up as we can be in our heads, how good it is that I can move my hand and that I can drive to this place and walk around. And how fantastic of an idea that we can look at this nature, this place that has existed before us, this place that cares not about perception, and we can take beauty from it. We can find beauty from it. The beauty already exists, but in a way we also create it because we take beauty and we bring it out of this place. Nothing here is made to look beautiful. Nothing here is trying to look beautiful. No tree here cares about being perceived, but we can't help but be stunned by its nature and by its certainty of existence. And I think that humans can be like that too. And we can attract people in that way, you know? We're so lucky to have people who love us. Imagine being in a world surrounded by beauty, surrounded by nature and forces greater than you that have lived longer than you can imagine. And imagine somebody stops by and says, "Hey you, I love you. Out of everything here." And this forest, this place is gorgeous. Every corner beyond comprehension just baffles me like nothing else. And yet, to see the smile on my brother's face is far greater. And I would trade this all for that. You are loved. In the face of people suffering, they choose to love you. And we doubt that. But those voices that tell you that that's not a possibility, they're not your voices. They're voices you heard before that you've kept unwillingly. But we're more than that. As I sit here now, I realize that if your laugh and your smile can inspire joy, then how does your life not have purpose? If you can bring someone out of sorrow, if me talking about this can bring someone out of sorrow or some comfort or peace of mind, then my life does have meaning. That's the meaning I attribute, that's the meaning I desire. Far greater than being an artist or being successful. I want to help people, and I want to help myself. We go through the human experience, and when we see people that are struggling, we empathize because, well, we're living it too. And we try to make them feel comforted that they're not alone, that it is okay, that yes, this is scary, but I'm here. But then we don't give ourselves the same credit because you're trapped in your head and you're not as much of a mystery as other people are because you don't know their lives, you don't know their backstory, you don't know what their day was like earlier, why they're acting the way they are now, why they act the way they do ever. And so because you're trapped in that, or you trap yourself by yourself, you discredit your human experience and you think that you're a special case or you're a special condition where the rules don't apply to you. But you will live and you will die, and you will ideally inspire amidst all of it. So there's that. You're not immortal. You're not a special case. You're an animal. You're just like me. I'm an animal that is lucky enough to have the intelligence and comprehension to perceive the beauty around me and to desire to share that with people. We're just animals. And they're just thoughts. Man, I should have tea more. Feels great. Warms the chest. Good days will come. Today's a good day. I woke up and I was lucky enough to experience intimacy. Afterwards, I was blessed enough to, my roommate was babysitting a little kid, and he was just roaming around. I was hanging out with him. He went in my room and he just was so curious, and he just played with everything and touched everything, annoyingly so. But it's miraculous how caught up you can be. And today has been a nice reminder of the life outside of that. I mean, really, what more can you ask for than friendship, intimacy, nature, and your own peace? So really just love. And finding love in all those things. Finding love in nature. Loving nature. Finding love in the love that a kid has when they're slamming their hands on the piano keys. And how caught up we can be in our heads. And my God, I was showing the kid a lighter. I know I'm irresponsible. But he loved the flame. A little too much. I think we have a young arsonist on our hands. And maybe a musician. Maybe both. But it's almost funny to compare how trapped you can be in your head and how you can look at someone that appreciates such a small piece of life, something that I gloss over every single day. And this kid is just baffled by it. And it's a peaceful reminder. I love you. And I don't just say that. I love you. You're so deserving of love. Please do your best to not reject the love that people give you. You don't deserve that. Imagine somebody that has lived for, let's say me, for example. Someone that's lived for 21 years, that has suffered and that has succeeded and all these different things. If they come by and they choose to love you, that means that despite everything they've seen, they love you. Despite everything they know or everything they fear, they choose to let you be a burden in their life a little. And they let you take up space. But we get insecure because we don't want to take up space. We're afraid to take up space. But it's all in our head. I'm taking up space right now. Anyone that's watching this. I'm taking up your space and your time. Doesn't mean I'm less deserving of love. Doesn't mean it's a bother if you've gotten this far. I guarantee you it's a beautiful day. And it's so easy to get trapped in yourself. But you can be your own best company. And my God, you are here. By God, the sun is up and I'm here. I'm alive. I'm so lucky. And I just need to remind myself that. We are lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to have tea. And I'm lucky that someone cared enough to listen to this. And you'll forget this. But hopefully you'll remind yourself once you do. I love you. Stay strong. And if my brothers are watching this, I love you more than I could even bother to say. I would give up everything for you guys. And I intend to call my mother and my father and tell them I love them shortly after this. And just to thank them for giving me this life. And if there's someone that you love, I advise you to do the same. But also look in the mirror and smile. You are beautiful. There's no reason you should think otherwise. The only reason that people get anxious is because they think they're not enough. And that's because they think that they're not saying or doing enough. But I hope after everything I've said, you realize that you are. Because enough is a concept, an unrealistic standard, an unachievable goal that you give to yourself. But you are enough, and I see you. Have a beautiful day. Stay strong.